Hey bro, how are you? Today we are heading to the gym and we're going to go to work. Going to go to the co-working space to do some coaching calls. I've got some mentoring that I'm doing for some young guys, and I'll hope to record those and share some insights from those. Creating godly men. All the people that come to me for mentorship and that I work with gravitate towards me tend to be, interestingly, men of faith, men who believe in something spiritual, and often because of that they have a certain level of a lot of shame and guilt and feelings of unworthiness, right? And that's kind of the double-edged sword of being a man of faith, right? We have standards, we have values, we have a moral code, and living in a world where it's easier than ever to lose sight of your compass and your moral code. A lot of the men that I coach are struggling with addiction, struggling with, I don't want to be a man that watches porn and masturbates and spends a bunch of time on social media and Instagram, TikTok, but I find myself gravitating towards that. And so those are the men that I'm coaching. And so my heart really goes out to them because I know exactly what that's like. That's exactly the man that I was, really struggling to break free from that stuff and feeling that sense of torment and discrepancy in the heart of like, I want this, but this is my reality. And I think the higher people's standards are and the higher their values are, the more they feel that torment and that discrepancy in their heart. So that's my mission really, is I'm trying to get those people together and see how I can actually substantially help them. And that's been my life's work for the last 10 plus years now. And so I feel like I really do have a mission, if you would call it that, from God. I want to share a funny story. Last night I was putting my kids to bed and I was singing, when you sing songs randomly that just come to your head, and this is the song. It was baby bottle pop, baby bottle pop. And anyone that grew up in the 90s knows exactly this reference. Baby bottle pops. All right. And my son was like, what song is that? And I was trying to explain this American candy called Baby Bottle Pops. And I was just dying, like laughing on the floor, because I was trying to explain it to him and he couldn't understand it. And just explaining this candy is really ludicrous. So basically, it's a baby bottle shaped candy that you take the top off and you dip it in sugar, powdered sugar, and then you suck on the baby bottle with the sugar on it, right? And my son is like, what? I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face. My son is like, why? Why did this candy exist? And he was trying to understand, where did baby bottle pops go, right? And I was like, I don't think we sell them anymore. It was almost like trying to explain to someone an alternate universe where we have this crazy candy, right? Anyways, I was on the floor laughing because his face was like, what? Why? Right? And I realized how crazy it sounds to explain this. Anyways, just want to share that side story that I woke up this morning, I was just laughing, so I wanted to share that with you guys. All right, so there we go. So my fitness routine, we're going to the gym right now. It's about a 20-minute drive to the YMCA. Yes, I'm a YMCA guy. Just like Sam Sulek, or Sulek, however you pronounce his name. He's a YMCA dude. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to rock the YMCA gym because I enjoy it. I like it. I like the environment. I like the spirit there. They remember your name. There's a Christian vibe to it, which I resonate with. I like the faith. And I'm excited to lose fat. That's what I'm really excited about. I have never gone all out, balls to the wall, serious about fitness, to be honest. Like I've been consistent, but I haven't been devotedly serious to it, right? Of course, I always say, and what I've heard is that consistency beats intensity, which means it's more important to be consistent than it is to be intense for a short period of time. And that goes for everything in life: fitness, finance, right? Finance, relationships, marriage, raising children, faith. It's more important to be consistent than it is to be intense, because the people that make it intense they're the people that are like, I'm going to get fit for the summer. I'm going to get fit for this event. I'm going to, I'm going to like pump Bitcoin or whatever, like get into crypto. And they try to think short term, and they don't think about the long-term strategy of like, if I consistently work out 3 times a week, if I consistently, put money into crypto or stocks or investments or business, whatever, if I consistently invest in my relationships with my wife, if I consistently do the things that eventually will lead me to my goal, those are the people that absolutely win and dominate in life. And so that's a lesson I've learned from fitness, and that's why I believe, and I teach fundamentally that to the guys, that if you want to start thinking long term as opposed to short term, the best way to do that is to start lifting and to start working out, start with fitness, because it's a physical representation of that forces you to think long term, because you can't win in fitness by thinking short term. You can't. And so fitness, what it does is it forces you to think in longer time horizons, which essentially is a skill and a mindset that we need to succeed in every area of life, including business, making money, whatever it is, right? So that's how I approach my workouts. And that has been for the last 2 years, basically, that I've been kind of more consistently working out, is just putting in the time. And even though it's not intense, but now, after just starting a cut phase, I am looking into being more serious about lifting and working out and losing fat, right? So how I'm doing that is I'm just trying to maintain muscle. So I'm not, and so from what I understand, what I've experienced so far is it's not that hard. It doesn't require a lot of intense time under pressure to maintain muscle. So that can be done by 3 times a week, exercising a muscle group 3 times a week, right? So I do that 4 sets a day of that muscle group just to maintain the muscle. And then on the diet side, I am intermittent fasting. Yes, intermittent fasting. I always hated intermittent fasting people. It always seemed like a trend. It was always like, oh, everyone's talking about this. Until I actually learned about the science about it, and I got serious about it, and I tried it. And what I absolutely love about fasting is I love how I feel. I love being hungry a little bit. And I love not being tired all the time. And that was the thing for me, is every time I ate breakfast, lunch, I just felt tired afterwards, right? And I just I hate this feeling. So I started intermittent fasting, and I just feel focused. I feel energized. And so basically I fast all day until dinner. So like 3-4 o'clock, from about 3-4 o'clock until 6:37. So there's like a 4 hour window that I will just stuff my face with whatever I can find. I will just go around on the ground, grocery stores, restaurants, dinner. My wife makes a beautiful meal every evening, Japanese meal. She's Japanese. Mostly meat, protein, chicken, pork, beef, lots of protein for dinner. I just stuff my face. And so during that 4 hour window at the end of the day, that's when I just eat as much as I can. And I love it because I feel energized all day. I'm losing, so that's kind of the method for losing the fat, the excess fat, is lifting, working out, and then doing intermittent fasting. And so what's interesting about fasting is that it is not a chore whatsoever for me. I would rather intermittent fast than eat, because I know that I feel better from doing it, and I feel more focused, and I can notice that. And so this is like a life hack that I've learned, is that if I can find a way to enjoy stuff that is usually difficult, then it becomes infinitely easier to do, because then it becomes a plus. Then it becomes almost like an escape, or I prefer to do this thing as opposed to not do it. And so in the beginning, it's like, yeah, I was a little hungry to fast in the morning, but then I started making the mental note at the end of the day. It's like, how did I feel today fasting? It's like, wow, I really felt not tired, and I really felt energized and focused. So I was like, that is a positive. So I associated psychologically the act of fasting with just a net positive experience. And so at the end of the day, I was like, I really enjoy this. So now mentally, when I think about fasting, when I'm traveling, when I'm on the weekend even, I'm just like, I would rather fast. And that's a win, right? So that's been like my big life lesson, especially recently, is like, make stuff enjoyable, and then you can't lose. the people that succeed the most in life, especially like bodybuilders, people that you know in your life that are so like financially successful, or business people, or whoever, influencers, the reason they are successful is, of course, it's hard work. Of course, they put in the hours. But I would say 80% of it is really they just enjoy it. People that are seriously fit, they just enjoy it, and they prefer to do it than not do it. People that are really talented in music, for example, guitarists, vocalists, pianists, they are really good and they put in the hours mostly because they genuinely enjoy it. And then there's about 20% of the time that is just really hard work, and they just that's where the discipline comes in, right? But if you can find a way to just enjoy it, you will succeed. And that is almost guaranteed, because it almost becomes like it's an escape. And if you can turn something that is healthy into an escape, then you found gold. Because then it's something you would do when you're feeling difficult emotions and you just want to be alone, or you're stressed, or you're bored, or you're lonely, or you're depressed, and you just want to stop feeling those emotions, which is one way to deal with it, right? The typical thing people do is they go to their phone, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to video games, porn, drugs, alcohol, whatever. And that's the way to escape. But if you can find a way to escape life to something that is actually healthy, it's not the best thing in the world, I might add you. The best thing to deal with emotions is to actually deal with it, and to direct it, and to do something with it, instead of squashing it down. But in the meantime, if you're learning how to deal with emotions productively, then finding an escape that is better than watching porn, playing video games, and going on social media, then you've struggled. So for me, going to work and helping men to live godly lives is actually an addiction. It is actually sincerely something that I look forward to and I enjoy. I get a kick, I get some kind of sick thrill even after talking with men who are just like me, and I can share a perspective or share a mental framework or exercise that they can do that drastically changes their life. That's my addiction, yo. That's my escape. I love it. And so right now I'm going to work. Right now I'm going to have some coaching calls with some men. Like I said, it's usually men that, or women that have high values and standards and are feeling confused. Like, I feel this way and I believe this most of the time, but sometimes I just feel like I'm unworthy, and sometimes I just feel like I just want to escape life, right? And I get that. I really do. I genuinely understand. It's hard. Life is really hard, and I think it's actually harder now in the last 20 years than ever before in history. Now, this is my opinion. It's unpopular, but I think that it's harder to live now because before the age of social media, before the age of easy accessibility to all the forms of escapism we look to, what did we do to deal with emotions through all of human history? How did we deal with stress? How did we deal with boredom, loneliness, anxiety, depression? Is that we only had the options that were available to us, which was you move your body, you internalize, or you talk to somebody. That's it. There's three. There's three ways to deal with emotions. Internalize, talk to somebody, or move your body. That's it. All of history, since the beginning of human dawnness. And just in the last 20, 30 years, the advent of technology, the accessibility of drugs, alcohol, video games, screens, essentially, we have been able to deal with emotions in a very quick, supernormal, and unnatural form. Now, I'm not going to tell you that all that stuff is wrong and evil. I'm not saying that screens are evil and wrong, no one should do screens. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, clearly, is that if you go to a screen when you are feeling a difficult emotion to deal with that emotion as a crutch, as a coping mechanism, what happens is that you develop an addiction to it. And in essence, you don't know how to deal with an emotion. You don't know how to direct the emotion to be used in a way that was actually created by God to be used. And I'll say that again. God gave us stress so that we will protect. God gave us boredom so that we will do stuff. God gave us loneliness so that we will connect and we'll have family, find a spouse and marry and have children. All beautiful emotions, if you ask me. And the problem is that where people get confused is they try to label these emotions as bad and evil, and they try to stop it. So the typical thing is like people feel bored, so they try to fill their life with more activity, with more video games, with more stuff to stimulate them, just to not be bored, because they're like, oh, I don't like being bored, because when I'm bored I do bad things, like I watch porn and I do drugs, whatever. But That's not the point. The point is not how do I stop feeling this emotion. The point is how do I direct this emotion? How do I use this emotion to motivate me to do the things that it was intended for? And that is the name of the game. And that is what I'm always excited to talk with men about. So we're gonna get to the gym really quick now. And I wanna encourage you guys, if you are in this journey with me, to follow here. I have no incentive to make money or be famous. I really do feel a calling to get like-minded men together to work out in and experience God and figure out how to live a godly life like I'm trying to figure it out, and do that together. And I really need you, because we need more male role models in this world. We need better role models in this world that are men of God, men of substance, men of genuine, sincere character. And I think we don't have enough role models in the public sphere. So let's do that together. I really need you. I really need men to follow and do this together. All right. So let's do it. Today was chest, biceps, doing press, doing supersets in my workout. So 4 sets each, supersets, push, curls, push, curls, push, curls. Did some handstands to warm up the shoulders and triceps. And also I like handstands because it works the whole core, back, kills your back, shoulders, of course, triceps. And apparently biceps because of the straight arm strength. Let's get to work. That makes me emotional here, actually. And my role as a father is to teach, and that's what I know for sure. And I'm not gonna. And case in point, how many men do we have in this world that are sheepish, that are boyish, because fundamentally they didn't have that guidance. They didn't have a role model that will teach them what is right and what is wrong, how to live a life. And so they're figuring out as we go. There's a certain extent where you have to know that it's part of the process. Is marriage and children is how men are created. And I'm not saying that that's the woman's job to raise a man, but it's through the struggles and the becoming one and the learning how to trust, learning how to communicate. It's through the process of being married that one becomes a man. It's through the realizations of like, oh, I have someone I need to protect and I need to take care of. Because if I don't, nobody will. I have children that I need to raise and I need to teach. Because if I don't, nobody will, or the wrong people will, right? And so it's through the process of marriage and family that one becomes a man. That's been my experience. I don't think a man or woman can be the ideal without each other. You can't be God without each other. And so the question that is asked now is, okay, what is that milestone? What is the threshold that you can pass before you can say, okay, I'm mature enough. I'm X amount, I've extended the threshold through which now I can say I'm ready for marriage and blessing, right? And what my experience has been is that for men, it's relationship, well, not just men, women too. Number one, relationship with God, okay? Like a foundational, just like you're saying, Kathy, a foundational relationship with God. Not a perfect relationship, but a relationship. And curiosity and desire to grow in that relationship over time. And then the other thing I would say is sexual integrity. And the reason I say that is because if you have sexual integrity, which means your words and your actions are aligned. Your vision and your actions are aligned. And the reason this is important is because the vast majority of single men and women struggle with sexual integrity, with porn, masturbation, with social media use, with erotica, that kind of thing. And so what comes with sexual integrity is the ability to understand and have introspection, self-awareness, mood regulation, emotional intelligence, the ability to communicate, right, with people, communicate how I'm feeling, my emotions with others, which is a fantastic catch-all to indicate that someone is ready for a relationship, right? Because if you have somebody that has a close relationship with God or a relationship with God and has sexual integrity, then like you can't defeat that couple if you put those two people together. You can't defeat, like there's nothing that they won't grow into, and they can grow into whatever that they want to in their lives, right? All right, heading home now. It was a long day. I woke up really tired because the baby, no, it was just baby stuff, 1-year-old, having a 1-year-old, didn't sleep well, tired. But I did the work anyways, went to the gym. Always feels fantastic to do the things that we know we need to do, regardless if we want to do it or not. And like I said before and all the time, is as long as I'm enjoying it 80% of the time, the 20% of the time I can endure and I can have discipline, I'm set. So a big theme for today was coaching calls about masculinity. What is masculinity? It's such a touchy topic nowadays, and it's weird that it is even hard to talk about. It's weird that it's even considered something taboo and controversial in any form. But I was just sharing my experience of in my marriage. So been lucky to be married to this wonderful Japanese woman, short Japanese woman from Japan, for 13 years now. And when we got married, she was the more masculine type. Like, she was direct, go-getting, wanted to pursue life and have a lot of passions and stuff. I was the more feminine type, you could say. And we were trying to compromise this, and it wasn't working because she's a woman and I'm a man. And so what would happen is that she would, when she was having difficult moments or times or PMSing and it's her time of the month, she would come to me and complain. And as people do, and as they should in life, they should go to the people closest to them. And I would try to be the woman in her life. I would try to be understanding and empathetic and like, yes, I know. And it came to a point where as soon as she started complaining about me, I couldn't do it. And I tried. I would be like, yes, honey, I know, I'm the worst. I know I'm a dick. Sometimes I know. And then I would just I couldn't do it. So at one point, at some time in our marriage, I was like, all right, honey, you need women. You need to find women in your life. And I'm going to be a man because I cannot be a woman for you. I cannot do it. So every time she's like that and she gets edgy or it's her time of the month, I say to her nicely and lovingly, honey, call your mom. Honey, call your sisters. Honey, call your friends, because I can't do it. And of course, there's times where I need to be loving and listening, and I'll do that. But as soon as it becomes about me, I'm like, I can't. I just can't. And I wish I could. For a long time, I wish I could. And I would beat myself up saying, oh, I wish I could just be listening and loving, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not a woman. And women need women, and my friends, men need men. So this is where the conversation was going today with the coaching. And so what has happened in our relationship is I have become more manly over time in our relationship. I have been the captain of our family, and my wife has been the maintenance of our family. You can see it as like we're driving the ship. I'm the captain of this ship. I'm the captain now. And she is the, that's a movie reference, by the way, reference to a movie, Tom Hanks. And she's the maintenance. She's the one that will make sure everyone on board feels loved and cared for and is experienced grace and love. And I'm the one that's making sure that everyone knows what the hell they're doing on this ship. And I'm driving this ship, and I'm telling our family where to go. And so what has happened is I have become more manly, and she has become more feminine. She has become a woman. Takes care of herself more externally. She dresses better. She doesn't dress like a tomboy anymore. Don't tell her I said that. She takes care of her skin. She she's fit physically. She's not overweight. God bless her. Thank you for that. And I have become more into my role. I've been stepping into my role more and more. And so the result is I am pushing her to be a woman, and she is pushing me to be a man. And the result is that we are attracted to each other. Polar opposites attract like magnets. And when you play into your masculine role, a genuine, true feminine person, not a feminist, a feminine person, a womanly person will be drawn to you, because that is what a real woman is drawn to. And if a woman is not drawn to a real man, I would say that there is some unhealthy baggage going on. I think it doesn't come from a healthy place. I think it doesn't genuinely come from a healthy place. And so the result is we like being with each other. Amazing. After so many years of difficulty and torment, and she's saying, why don't you listen to me? Why don't you understand me? And me going, I'm trying to do my best, but I can't because you're just complaining about me and I won't stand for that. I can't do it. And so what has happened is that we have been attracted to each other, and we, lo and behold, enjoy being in the presence of each other. There's no like, oh, you should be this or you should be that. It's just, I trust that you are being the woman that you are made to be by God, designed. And I am being the man that I am meant to be, designed by God. And together, we are attracted to each other because we are polar opposites, and that is how it works. So, the lesson I've learned is that we should lean into it. We should step into our masculine role. And if people are off-put by that, guess what? If women are off-put by that, guess what? It probably means it's not meant to be. It probably means it's not a match that is of God, and that will eventually become the whole characteristics of God, which I believe God is like a father and mother to us. God has a fatherly heart and a motherly heart. And the motherly heart is saying to us, I hope you know that you are loved unconditionally. I hope that you know that no matter what you do or mistakes you made, you will always be worthy of love and acceptance and grace. And there will always be a warm meal for you, no matter what. No matter what. And the fatherly heart is saying, I hope you know that you're better, that you can be better, that you can do better. I hope you know that you are worthy to take on the world, and you can. And the Father is saying, this is right and this is wrong. And it's harsh sometimes. And when it's harsh and our child screams and kicks and cries because we're a little too harsh, they have the mother to go to for support, for love, for comfort, for guidance, for grace. And that's a beautiful part of life. That's a beautiful part of God's heart, I believe, is that it's balanced. And the problem is men and women are pointing fingers at each other and saying, my way's right and your way's wrong. Men are saying we need to teach, and women are saying we need to embrace. Who is correct? Both. Both are correct because both are needed. Just like we need a mother and a father, we both need a man and woman. We need masculine and feminine. It's balanced. The entire world is balanced like it. Look at everything. From electrons to plants to animals to humans, everything is balanced. Yin and yang, man and woman, masculine, feminine. And they attract each other the more they become their true, genuine essence, their innate essence. And so that's what I'm trying to do day by day when we're raising this family, when I'm teaching people, is I'm trying to lean into what it's like to be a father. For the men that I'm coaching, for my own children, for my wife, what does it mean to be a man? And I'm going to be a man for them. And I'm done pretending to be a woman. I am done trying to be understanding and sympathetic and empathetic and embracing. And sure, there's a place for that. But if it's getting in the way of me being my true self, that I know God created me to be, then I'm not going to do it. Sorry. So there you go. I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think of this type of content? Was there anything that I can do to improve my body, my shape? How can I lose fat? How can I get into the shape I want? My model is my role model, fitness-wise, Chris Hemsworth and Henry Cavill. Chris Hemsworth in, I would say, Thor 1. That dude is the shit. I like him because of the brand he has. He's like a father. He doesn't get into politics like the other Avengers do. He's just living his life, is trying to be the best dad, the best worker, actor that he can, and he's trying to be in the best shape he has. So that's my like physically, that's my standards. Like Thor 1, Chris Hemsworth. And then there's also Henry Cavill in Superman Man of Steel. That movie, when I saw Man of Steel, I was like, that's the body I want to be. That's like, he's strong. That's a strong dude. And so that's my standard. So if you guys have recommendations of how I can get there, how I can achieve that, I'm all ears. If you have recommendations for my diet, for my exercise, I'm all ears. I think I'm on a good path because I've seen progress, and I know that with progress means you just kind of have to keep doing what you're doing and making tweaks along the way. Don't make large tweaks because then you might overthrow and counterbalance your progress. But just know that I am making progress, and that's enough for me to know that I'm heading in the right direction, and I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah? Okay, so be sure to subscribe, guys, because I need you, genuinely, sincerely. I need you. I'm not doing this for money, for fame. I don't need any of that. I have everything I need, plus more. And I really need a team. We need to work together to create a world filled with men of substance and men of true masculine nature and godly men. And if that's you, then let's stick around. Let's get to know each other. Let's hang out. I'm going to head home now, spend time with the kids, eat dinner, and then just try to love my wife, show her my appreciation for everything she's doing at home for the kids. Because it's not easy. Being a mom is a long-term game. It's a long game, and you don't see the rewards for decades, actually. So God bless all mothers in the world. All right, lots of love, guys. See you next time. What are we talking about?
I guess we did it super quickly.
I helped you do your homework super quickly?
Yeah.